guys. Have you ever gone shopping, bought used items, older collectibles, gone antiquing? Have you ever wondered if maybe there was something attached to those items? Maybe they had a past. Maybe you brought something home with you when you brought that item back.
Who knows? And I guess we're here to talk about it. Welcome back to Bumping the Mic. And we're going to be kicking off a brand new series called Possessed Possessions, where we talk about haunted objects and the stories that tie into those. And I believe we're starting off today with the Dybbuk Box, right, Clyde?
Yep, that's right.
What is that?
As far as I know, it's a box that actually a lot of times they'll have either like a spirit that's haunting somebody or a place or something like that. A clergyman or a rabbi, somebody will actually seal a spirit inside of a box. They'll put items in there. They'll, in some form or manner, trap this spirit in a box. They'll seal the box any way they can with sometimes like wax around it or other crazy things. And you are supposed to leave that item sealed because that spirit is trapped in there. So if you let it out, now you have a problem.
Gotcha. And a Dybbuk, historically, especially in like Jewish folklore, was a restless, malevolent spirit that attached itself to a person or an object. So in this case, a box, or if it was trapped in the box via like an exorcism ritual by a clergyman or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. There could be, a myriad of examples about Dybbuk boxes. It could be any sort of container as long as it was sealed properly, to my understanding. The most famous one, though, was one that started out on eBay. It first appeared in 2001 on an eBay listing from an antiques dealer, and it was an old wine cabinet. The guy that listed it on eBay claimed he was given it by a Holocaust survivor who warned him to never open it. So he gave it to his mom, who immediately suffered a stroke on the same day. This guy reported other phenomena surrounding that box, including having nightmares involving like an old hag, having strange odors in his house, like cat urine and things, and he didn't have any cats. There were like shadows in his house and different cold spots that he was experiencing. People that were around this box, like visitors to his house, started experiencing like their hair falling out, unexplained rashes, that type of thing. So at that point, he decided to get rid of this cabinet. So he put it up on eBay in 2001. It was bought by a museum curator, if I remember right, who, after receiving it, started experiencing like physical illnesses like hives and coughing, welts, this kind of stuff all over his body, and it wouldn't go away. He actually wrote a book about this in the early 2010s, called The Dybbuk Box, explaining all this phenomenon and the lineage from where he got this, including the eBay listing and that provenance, and then what happened to him about, and his experiences with this box. So he eventually got sick of being sick and loaned it to some researchers. He eventually locked it away in like basically like an ark. It's like Ark of the Covenant type thing. He put the box in a box and loaned it away. Eventually it resurfaced in 2016 when Zach Baggins, who was, I don't remember if he was a producer or director, but he was one of the top dogs on the show Ghost Adventures. He bought it.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and so he actually owns the haunted museum in Las Vegas. So this box is actually on display there in that museum, and he claims it's the most haunted item in his possession.
So you can actually go see this thing, like
100%. And if you haven't been to that museum, I'd recommend that you go. It's full of all kinds of history and lore and objects, and it's really, really well put together. So if you're interested in any of this stuff, I can't recommend that museum high enough. Like, just don't touch the Dybbuk box. Right?
it's just crazy to me because like I'm like, okay, I get why he wants it. He's got a haunted museum, but like everybody prior to that, like some guys like, hey, do you want this wine cabinet? Don't ever open it. Like,
Yeah, right.
I don't know if I do. Yeah, I don't know if I do want that.
Well, but on the flip side of that coin, right? Imagine being gifted like some beautifully ornate box and being told not to open it. Like, what's the first thing you're going to want to do? Fucking open it, right?
Maybe, yeah. Because I would be like on one side, I'd be like, "What do you mean, don't open it?" I would like look at him and like give him that like half smile, like don't. And then if he was like deadpan, like do not open it, I'd be like, yeah, I don't think I want it then. Like, what? Why should I not open it? That would be my main question.
Yeah, true. And then you'd hope that the guy giving it to you like knows some of the history surrounded or had his own instructions when he was given the box, right? Like, don't open it because of this. Like, because you're going to get hives and suffer a stroke and possibly die, right? Then maybe you don't even keep the box. You just pass it on to the next person.
Yeah, you would hope he was honest because there's actually like a short story on that I watched on like YouTube or something about like a cardboard box that some guy gives his friend and it's like a curse and he has to pass it on. So I would hope it wouldn't be like that. And like the box has something in it and as the guy he's like once he leaves it with his friend, he calls him, he's like, you can't take your eyes off of it. And it's actually a phenomenal short and the guy like anytime they take their eyes off of it, the box opens more and something starts coming out of it. It's like a guy staring at him, and it's phenomenal short. But I'm wondering if it's like that kind of thing. Like he has to get rid of that box, and he's like, "Well, if I tell him it's haunted, he's not gonna take it."
Right. Yeah.
But
Tell him that after he's accepted custody of the specific box, right? Like,
yeah, so I wonder if it's one of those situations where he leaves, gives him a phone call after, like, "Yeah, hey, don't open that." Like,
yeah, that thing is haunted. Definitely don't open it. In fact, you need to give it to somebody else.
yeah,
Yeah, I'll have
something
to
like
look
that.
at that short. I haven't. Is it like a YouTube short or?
It is. I can't remember the name of it, but I'm sure if you like type it in. It's got to be something like the box or something like that.
Yeah.
Phenomenal short. Um, but yeah, it's the same. It's in the same guy. It's like a haunted box, but this one isn't a Dybbuk box. It's just in the short. It's a straight cardboard box that he passes on to his friend, and it's like a curse that you have to pass on, like this and that. So I just wonder when you were talking about the Dybbuk box, if it's like in the same guys. Like you have it, you're like, well, somebody's got to take this thing because I don't know if you could just take it and throw it in a lake or something, but.
Yeah, I mean that's the mystery, right? Is like what causes this thing to be haunted or what unleashes the Dybbuk? Like you probably can't destroy the box because in doing so do you release the spirit, but can yeah, like you said, just dump it off at the dump somewhere where nobody ever has possession of it, or would that cause the dump itself to get haunted? Like who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Or
Um,
does it come back to you? That would be my main concern. Otherwise, I
right.
don't care. Like, I'll just take a yacht, a fishing trip out, like deep sea fishing, and just kick that thing right over the kick that thing right over the edge of the boat, like no questions asked.
Yeah,
But like, if they're like, oh yeah, you have to pass it on, or like, it'd be interesting to hear more about it because like it's yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more lore in it. I'm just
well, I mean that's how your
curious.
sunken treasure hauntings begin, Clyde, is people throwing cursed shit into the ocean for someone else to find 40, 50, 100 years later.
That doesn't sound like my problem anymore. I don't know. I'm like, I'm like,
Well,
if you're telling me though, at the time, it's like, oh, you've got a box here that's making your electronics not work. You and your family are getting sick. All this crazy stuff's going on. You're like, yeah, but if you dump it in the ocean, somebody 100 years from now is gonna get sick and have probably. Well, they probably shouldn't have pulled it out of the ocean.
I guess not. Guess that's why I'm never getting my scuba certification.
Yeah,
I'd be too curious.
like sharks is probably number one. Like unintentionally running into a Dybbuk box that somebody dumped would have to be number two.
Well, this particular one that I was talking about, that wine cabinet,
Mhm.
so it even had like a celebrity experience with it. So Post Malone in 2018, he was a guest star on Ghost Adventures with Zach Baggins, and during that episode, it's reported that Baggins touched this cabinet, and then Post Malone subsequently touched him, and some people say it linked Post Malone to that box because literally days after that episode was filmed, Post Malone suffered an armed robbery at his home. Later that month, his private jet's tires blew up on takeoff, and leading into like a series of, emergency actions on behalf of the plane crew and stuff. The month after that, in September 2018, Post Malone was involved in a car crash in Los Angeles where his Rolls
Mm.
Royce collided with another vehicle. And none of these incidents can be directly tied to the box, right? But it happened in such close proximity to that episode of Ghost Adventures that often people are saying, yeah, he got touched by the Dybbuk and now he's the victim of misfortune because of that. And these are all like totally documented. You can Google them. Like this stuff happened to Post Malone. You can go watch that episode. I don't know which episode it was, but he did co-star or guest star on Ghost Adventures, and that box was in that episode. And shortly after that, that laundry list of stuff happened to Post Malone.
Wow. Yeah. See, that's kind of what I was wondering is like more of how it works. Cause like, how long did it stick with him after that? Like, is it something, like I was saying, like, if it's even something that you touch and it affects you, like, that's pretty crazy in and of itself
Yeah,
that he was trapped.
and there's for this particular box or really any of them, right? Skeptics argue that people make up these stories about these ancient, not even ancient but just antiques, in order to build some kind of creepy narrative into them to allow them to sell them for more money on auction sites like eBay or similar. Other people say that it's purely psychological because you believe something's haunted, now your senses are heightened to believe that as well, so anything that goes wrong or is a little weird in your life you're just going to perceive as a haunting because of your link to this, quote unquote haunted object.
It could be possible. Yeah. I've also even seen some stuff though where it's not like people that don't even know about it record stuff. So I've seen people, even on TikTok and stuff, they'll pull out like a box that they found in, they'll be like, oh, I was remodeling my house and I found this box in the floor. And it's like a sealed box, completely sealed in wax. And they'll have people online even start commenting on their live as they're pulling it out. Be like, "Do not open that.
Right.
Do not open that. Like, there's something's off."
But who knows, because like back in the day, like during the Great Depression, right, like people were known to bury cash in their walls. Like they
Hmm.
would literally cash in their walls, in their floorboards, under their mattresses, in their yards and stuff. So there's a ton of reports of people like buying old houses to tear them down and flip them, and they find like cash or pretty valuable possessions like in the walls. And that's just a lineage from the Great Depression days when people were guarding their wealth and hiding it away because they were afraid they're going to lose it, right? So a lot of that stuff is probably just stuff that people hid in their house and it's actually fine.
It could be, but what you're saying to me right now is this is like the ultimate gamble. Like, you find a wax sealed box in your floor, you're like, if I open this, there could be a lot of cash. Or if it's empty when I open it, well, I'm probably now my house is not going to be so much fun.
And I guess you find a box in your floors, right? You start digging into, okay, when was my house constructed? Like what was going on at that time, right? But I mean, you see all those videos that of course, people separate them into like 30 parts on TikTok. So you got to
Yeah.
watch all of them to get the whole story, which drives me fucking crazy, by the way. But if they
Mm.
like, I found an old safe. Guess it's going to open it. And the next videos is like, I got this old safe. Let's open it today, but stick around for part three. And then part three is like,
Oh,
all right, we're finally going to open the safe. And then it ends, right? Like, I'm not going to finish the rest of that series. You've pissed me off to the point that I'm
you
not going to do this.
you skip right to the last part, or if they don't have it up, you just let it go. And if it's like videos that I feel like might be on YouTube, what I do is I just go straight to YouTube and Google. Like, I'll just search the video. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not sticking around for part 1 through 30 of you
Right.
looking into a room behind your mirror. I'm just not doing it.
And at the end of it, right, even if you do stick around for the whole thing, it's always empty. Like there's nothing ever cool in there. But I mean, that just goes back to my point that people did and probably still do like put stuff, hide it inside their house, like physically inside the walls and the floorboards and stuff. So it's not that odd to be pulling up boxes. Now, you find like a wooden box with a bunch of runes and crosses and holy symbols and like a legitimate wax seal on it, maybe it's a different story. Like you got to look at the evidence surrounding whatever it is that you have found, right?
100%. That's what I'm saying. Like, if it looks like somebody's really trying to keep that thing closed, because like if I hid cash in my walls, I would just put it in a box or a bag, zip it up, put it in the wall, seal it up, and be like, well, if they find it at this point, they find it. But like, if you've got somebody doing runes, putting like stuff on top of it, and then wax sealing over it, I'm kind of like, that's a little strange. I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe don't touch that and just put the floorboard back, and move on to the next room or whatever. Just let it lie.
Or just take that deep sea fishing trip, and I don't know, because you're telling me that if you touch them, you're in trouble. So I'm like, well, maybe that's why they put the wax on there.
That could be, right? Like wear gloves or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess like to summarize this whole thing, like is the Dybbuk box like truly a resting place for a malevolent spirit, or just one of the best crafted like paranormal hoaxes of the 21st century? Right? Like, what do you guys think? Do you have an experience with stuff like this? Like, what's your thoughts on things like this? Could there be spirits locked away in some of these things just waiting to be released? Let us know in the comments. Hit us up in the email in the description. Like, we want to hear your stories, your takes on this stuff, and just kind of go from there. I've not had any personal experience with anything like this, so all of my information on this episode has come from, research online, the Ghost Adventures show, and different forums and things like that. But if you have firsthand knowledge, I'd be curious to hear about it.
Absolutely. And it doesn't, since, like Gregory was saying, this is a new series for cursed or paranormal or supernatural objects. So it doesn't have to be a Dybbuk box. If you guys have anything out there, something that you brought into your house or something that you believe is haunted, cursed, or has is even giving you a weird feeling, just shoot us an email, DM, something. Let us know. We'd love to hear any of the stories.
Yeah, and until then, in order to seal your bad spirits away, put them right there in that subscribe button. All you have to do is smash that thing. That'll lock them away in there forever, and you won't ever have to worry about them again. Give us a like, thumbs up, whatever you want. Comment. We appreciate all that stuff. We like to get feedback from you guys, and we'll continue rolling forward. But thanks for joining us on this first ever episode of Possessed Possessions, and we'll keep rolling. Thanks, guys.
See you guys.